Hello and welcome to the Toy Talks podcast. I am Toya. How are you all doing? How's your weekend been? How was your Monday? This is actually a bonus episode. So this is not the episode that would have ordinarily gone up, but you're getting 2 episodes today, and this bonus episode being one of them. And the reason you're getting a bonus episode is something happened on Saturday, and I haven't even shared it on my Snapchat just because I've just been processing it. And I wanted to come on here and explain it, and then just kind of, I don't know, I think I just need to take a step back and think about it. And I was actually in shock. So on Saturday, I went to Bicester Village with my brother. I haven't been to Bicester Village in years, and we decided that we would go down there. It was my brother's first time, so we got the train from London Marylebone to Bicester Village, and we were going in all the different shops. I think if you guys look on my Snapchat, you'll see what I was wearing. Hurricane Dennis decided to grace us with his presence, so it was puffer jackets at the ready. We were dressed just like everybody else. Everyone was wrapped up warm. And I never had any intention of really like buying loads of stuff. I recently came back from New York. But I just wanted to like have a look in the shops, opportunity to spend some sibling time with my brother. So we went down there. So we'd gone into Prada. And as we went into Prada, we went upstairs, up the escalators, and my brother had tried on a jacket. And because it was a lot of money, he thought, do you know what? Let's go and get something to eat. Let's go get lunch. And then if I really want this, I'll come back. And the lady that had served us upstairs, she was lovely. And she's like, yeah, have a think about it if you're not too sure. So she gave us a ticket. And then we left the jacket with her. She said she's put it in the back. And she goes, if you come back, just, come and look for me or ask behind the till. Anyway, went to lunch, came back. Brother decided he wanted it. So he went upstairs. He tried on the jacket. And he said, yep, Toya, this is jacket I want. I says, no problem. Let's go downstairs then and so you can pay for it. He said, yeah, of course. So he handed me the jacket as he put on his actual jacket that he had walked into the store with on. So I had this jacket over my left arm. And as we were going down the escalators, my brother was in front of me. So he came off the escalators. And I was about to come off the escalators. My back foot hadn't left the escalator steps, and I was aggressively approached by the security guard. He was just talking in my face. I was so confused, and as he took the jacket out of my hand, I'm looking at him like, what are you doing? Someone who looked like they worked for Prada also came towards me and says, oh, have you got the ticket? And I'm like, hang on a minute. Slow down a minute. What's happening? The security guard has now taken the jacket out of my hand. My brother's standing there like, he was like, what's going on? And people were looking at us. It was so embarrassing. Now, it would have been about from the escalator to the door is like quite a few steps. Do you understand? So I'm nowhere near the door. As I've said, my back foot was still on the escalator. So then the guy that works for Prada, I managed to find the ticket, gave the guy the ticket. He says, don't worry, I'm going to take the jacket and behind the till, just show them the ticket and you'll get it back. So he looked at me for the jacket and I'm looking at the security guard. So the security guard had to give it to him. Then the security guard walks away and I'm like, I'm still standing there thinking, what the fuck? What is going on here? And my brother's quite chilled, quite laid back. But even he was just like, what the hell? Anyway, we went long in the queue and we went to the till. And my brother said, that was really, really heavy-handed. I says, yeah, it was. I said to him, I'm just still processing it because I'm trying to think, have I missed something here? Is there like a sign that says you're not allowed to walk down the escalator with a jacket that you're wanting to pay for downstairs at the till? I was like, I'm still processing this. So as me and my brother are standing there being served by someone, we're looking at the same escalators we just left, and there were people coming down the escalators with stuff in their hands. The security guard had resumed his position, securing the where he was standing. He didn't once approach any of these people. These people happen to be white, by the way. Didn't approach any of them. And then as some of them were joining the queue, then you could see a sales assistant then reach for the stuff. Very calm, like it wasn't a thing. Nobody was really looking because there was no commotion, not like the commotion that I just experienced 2 seconds ago. So my brother's like, nah, it's taking a fucking piss. I was like, it is. And I said to my brother, I'm going to have to say something, because even if they don't do anything about it, for myself, I'm going to have to say something, because it's unacceptable to treat people like they're stealing when they're trying to go to the till to pay for something. My back leg was still on the escalator, so I'm not really understanding the forceful aggression and the embarrassment that this security guard decided to deliver today. I said, it's not going to happen. So the person that was actually serving us and putting through the jacket, I said to him, your security guard's very aggressive. Before I had gotten into what had happened, the guy interrupted me. I said, excuse me, I'm not finished speaking yet, so you're going to let me finish speaking. When I finished speaking, he then said to me, well, the thing is, you're not allowed to hold things in the queue, and that's our policy. I said, that's fine, but what's your security guard's job? Because from what I'm observing, your the security guard's job is to secure the store, right? He said, yeah. I said, so how was he securing the store when he had already leaped on me to take the jacket when I was still on the escalator? It doesn't make no sense. And I said, and moreover, the actual sales assistant whose job it is to provide that customer service had arrived. So I don't understand what he was doing. Why was there the double up? He said, well, that's our policy. I said, no, I'm not having it. I said, go and call your manager. He goes, would you like to pay for this first? I said, no, go and call the manager. So we called the manager. And even though I'm on here and I'm very passionate, I was very, very calm. I was very, very chill, because, again, we are working against these stereotypes, angry black woman. Everything negative is what they put on the black person in it. So I'm trying not to play up to this stereotype. But inside of me, I'm burning, because I know that I was tackled that way because I'm a black woman. Facts. Because me and my brother are black, that's why they done it. But I thought, you know what, Toya, at the end of the day, you know that for yourself, you're going to have to say something. Let's see what the manager says. So the manager comes over, lovely lady, and I begin to explain to her what happened. She said, well, that's part of our customer service experience. I says, what? She goes, the fact that, we don't, our customers, that we're having quite a few things in their hand, we would take that from them, we'd give them a ticket, we put it behind the till. When it's their turn to be served, that's part of the Prada experience. I says, well, first of all, I know what the Prada experience is, because I've shopped in Prada before. Secondly, I've also shopped in Prada internationally. I've just come back from New York, so I know how your customer service is. But my thing is this, I had one thing in my hand, and my full body hadn't left the escalators. So how is what you're saying makes sense? I says, moreover, is it your security guard's job to secure the escalator as I walk down it? She said, no. I said, okay. So make me understand, because I'm standing here and I've watched loads of people come down here, and your security guard, and I point to him, he can see me pointing. I want him to know I'm pointing, I'm talking about you, stupid. I said, that security guard hasn't left his spot. The only time he left his spot is when he saw the black woman and the black man, me and my brother, at the escalators. This man moved quicker than a church rat, with a pound of cheese in his mouth. She said, oh, well, maybe you misunderstood. I said, I didn't misunderstand. I says, well, I need to understand why he thought that was an acceptable way to behave, because he's not done it to anybody else that's come down the escalators that have things in their hands. In fact, people have been coming down these escalators with more than one thing in their hand. He hasn't moved from his position. I says, and I'm struggling with the reason why. I said, is it because I'm a woman? Is it because I'm black? Is it, before I could say the next thing, she goes, oh, no, it's not because of that. I said, but how can you tell me it's not because I'm black? You're not black, so you don't know. And in the list of options, that has to be one of the options, because I don't understand why he behaved in that way. It doesn't make any sense. I says, for me, it's about being consistent. If your customer service is as such that you don't like customers holding things in their hand to the till, then you either open some tills upstairs so no one has to go down the escalators, or you leave it to your customer service staff to do that and to explain it. It doesn't take a security guard to pounce on somebody and then a customer service operative or a sales assistant to then come and do the same thing. I said, it's highly embarrassing and it's unacceptable. And as far as I'm concerned, it's because I am a black woman a black person in your store. That's why it's acted like that, because all the white people that have been coming down these escalators in droves, he hasn't moved once. I says, I'm sure he doesn't even move that quickly to go to his lunch. I says, it is unacceptable. All I'm asking for is consistency. If you're going to do that to one person, you do it to all. If your policy is the customer service experience and you want to involve your security guards, then your security guards needs to be involved with every single person that comes off the escalator that has stuff in their hands. Because these people have been coming off this escalator. He hasn't moved. And she said that she's going to speak to him, that maybe it was a little bit heavy-handed, that she'll have that conversation. Now, she probably is not going to have that conversation, but it wasn't about her. It was about me, because I always believe that we allow the oppressor to get away with bullshit because we do not want to be painted with this stereotype, or we don't want... I come out peacefully. Do you know, I love shopping. I love spending time with my siblings. I ain't got time to have to break down basic things to people about shopping. It's boring. It's boring. But I had to say something because I thought, number one, my brother's here. And it's important that he sees how I deal with that, because I'm sure as a black man, he deals with things like this day in and day out. And it is about being calm. It is about being patient. And it is about being eloquent in your delivery and making your point. And I said to myself, do you know what? I'm lucky enough to have a platform where I speak about workplace, navigating the social aspects of work as a black woman. I use my Snapchat and I talk about all types of things. And this is going to be one of the things that I'm going to talk about, because I want to make other black people aware that if you go to Prada in Bicester Village, you are likely to be apprehended at the escalator if you are carrying not many items, one item. You are likely to be. And it's important that you understand that this is a possibility. So you can make a decision on, number one, whether you want to shop there, or number two, how you're going to handle that situation if you are treated in the way that I was. It's important that we talk about these things, because our oppressor doesn't want us chatting about these things. They don't want us talking about these things. In fact, the woman stopped me at the point in which I gave her one of the options is me being black, because they don't like to be called out on their covert racism. They don't like to be called out on it. Or rather, they'll make you think it's all in your head. Long are those days of thinking it's in our heads. We have the opportunity now to be educated enough on the social aspects and social dynamics of the way racism operates in this country. And therefore, it is important that when we see something happening and we feel unjustly treated, that we deliver it in such a way and explain it in such, and for me, it was about, I need to get off my chest, because I know if I walked out of that store and I didn't have that conversation with the manager, it would really eat away at me. It would. Now, I've shopped in Prada in New York, in Woodbury Common, and I'm telling you, the level of customer service there is absolutely fantastic. And they have the same policy. You know, you can't walk around with things in your hands if you want to pay for it. But what will happen is, at the point in which you have decided you want to buy something, the person who gives you or goes in the back to get it in its new form, i.e. a new one rather than one on the shelf, would then take it, wouldn't even hand it to you. That person would then take it to the till. Do you understand? So you don't have that exchange of, excuse me, can I take this out of your hand type thing. And I just feel like in this country, I don't know what it is, but when it comes to consuming designer goods, you know how to take our money as black people, but you don't know how to treat us when you're taking our money. And these people are lucky, because it wasn't me that was paying for that jacket. If it was me paying for that jacket, I'd tell them to stick their jacket right up the arse of that security guard, because there's no way I'm paying for it. And equally as well, I didn't want to, take away from my brother. Like he gone there, he really liked the thing. And as I didn't want it to be a principle, because the principle of not buying it would only hurt us, because there's people that are going in that store every day to buy things. And for me, what was more important is that I use my platform to bring awareness to that this happens every day. But I think what shocks me is the aggressiveness of it. Like, I'm a small woman. I'm 5'4". My brother's 6'3". Like, in comparison to him, I'm quite small. And I literally was so confused. At one stage, I had to look up in the sky to make sure that maybe I was outside and I didn't know. I don't understand, because I could understand if I was walking towards the door. Do your job. But that would never be me. And I know that at the end of the day, you don't know what people's intentions are. But my back foot was still on the Ross escalator. What are you doing? So, Prada in Bicester Village, you guys are fuckwits. The security guard is a fuckwit for the way he treated me. I'm sure he doesn't treat other women who are not black like that. And for the manager in Prada in Bicester Village, do better. Your security guard needs to go back to that SIA training and need to do some race relations training. Because let me tell you something, you get the wrong person and it wouldn't have gone down as peacefully as it did. But I'm not going to allow these people to think it's okay to treat people like this. So you are on blast. We're going to call this on blast. Yes, this is what we're going to call this segment. Anytime I have to do a bonus episode in this nature, we're going to call it on blast. So, Prada and Bicester Village, you are on blast, dickheads. So, I also want to just say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to the Toy Talks podcast. Honestly, I have been so overwhelmed by the feedback, by a lot of your rates and reviews on Apple Podcasts as well. I'm just so grateful to be able to be in a position where I could deliver a podcast to you, an episode to you each and every Tuesday. This podcast, Toy Talks, started on the 1st of January and it has been amazing, the feedback that I've been receiving. And I am so, so grateful to each and every one of you who continue to listen, to all the new people that listen, all the new subscribers. I thank you so, so much for, coming with me on this Toy Talks podcast journey. So to a lot of you who've been following me for a long time, and for people who are new to my podcast or to the Toy Talks brand, you guys know that in 2018, I had a Toy Talks live event in London. It was amazing. It was an opportunity for me to kind of take what I had been talking about on my Snapchat to the live stage. We spoke about employment contracts. There was a lot of stuff that we spoke about, and it was a safe space for all of us to share. And, it was brilliant. So on the basis of that, I did not, however, do a Toy Talks live event in 2019, just because there was a lot of things happening. I was so busy, and I felt like if I was going to do another live event, I wanted to definitely give it my all. By the grace of Almighty God, there will be a Toy Talks Live 2.0 this summer. I'm currently sorting out the details for it, and I will shortly be announcing the date of that Toy Talks Live 2.0, and the tickets will go up 2 months before the actual live event. It is because of this that I am actually going to take a 2-week break from my podcast. I know. You're devastated. However, that's just because this is season 1, and season 1 of the Toy Talks podcast is almost over, and there's going to be a season 2. What I have, however, decided is, rather than have 2 weeks of no uploads, I have a couple of dilemmas that I have received and have responded to and recorded, and I will upload those over the next 2 weeks, rather than have a week or 2 where there are no new episodes. I want to keep the momentum going, and I think you guys will really appreciate that. So I am going to do that. But I just wanted to let you guys know why you'll be receiving over the next 2 weeks the dilemmas, rather than me talking about certain topics. But the dilemmas are really interesting, and hopefully you guys will find my responses to those dilemmas really, really helpful. So on my 2-week break, I will be sorting out the logistics for the Toy Talks Live 2.0. You guys know I'm currently writing a book, and I've had writer's block for a couple of weeks, and I need to now, hit the finish line with the book. There's a few things that I need to get done in the hope that towards the end of the year, the book will be published, and I am self-publishing the book. I don't have management. I don't have brands. I don't have this. This is me, Toya, funding and doing this whole thing. And, it's really important for me to give it my all. So, I'm doing that. Also as well, I'll be in Morocco for a few days. I've got a friend that's getting married, and it's kind of just coincided with when I'm taking a break. So I just thought, you know what, it makes perfect sense. I also want to thank each and every one of you who have reached out to me on my social media platform, that's been Snapchat, Instagram or Twitter, and shared with me and sent me your dilemmas and things like that. I am getting through all of them, and I just want to say, if you have a friend or somebody who would really benefit from listening to the Toy Talks podcast, please, give them the link or share with them the Toy Talks podcast and tell them what you've learned from the podcast. Please also feel free to rate and review the Toy Talks podcast on Apple Podcasts. Whatever platform you listen to my podcast on, thank you so much for tuning in and being loyal every week. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening. I just thought I'd just let you guys know. Season 2 of Toy Talks podcast is going to be amazing. I'm really excited. I've got a few surprises. You guys know I'm always pulling something out of the bag. So I definitely think you're going to really enjoy that. So yes, after this episode, so this is a bonus episode, you're going to get 2 episodes this week. And then over the next 2 weeks, I am taking a break, but not to despair. As I said before, you'll be having 2 dilemmas which I've responded to that will be going up, and then season 2 will start. So yeah, make sure you keep interacting with me. If you want to keep abreast of what's happening in terms of the Toy Talks live event, it will be in London. And for all my international followers, I am looking into doing a live stream of the event. It's difficult because some places don't have the bandwidth to be able to support a live stream. So that's kind of what I'm trying to figure out at the moment. But if you want to keep abreast of what's happening with the Toy Talks, the podcast and everything else, Toy Talks, please follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Toya_W, #Toy Talks, or you can follow me on the Toy Talks podcast Instagram page, and that's Toya_Talks, and my personal Instagram page is Toya_Washington. Thank you so much for listening, tuning in as always. Thank you so much for your support. My name has been Toya Washington, and you have been listening to the Toy Talks podcast.